What is up, YouTube? My name is Bella. You might know me as OnlyJayus, and I was wondering, what is the weirdest coincidence you've ever experienced? Have you ever thought about something for it to just pop up on your For You page a couple hours later? Or have you ever met somebody that suspiciously looks a lot like you? Or maybe you went on a date with somebody, fell in love, got married, had children, only to realize 18 years later that they were your cousin? No? Okay, well today we're going to be learning about the weirdest coincidences in all of history. I'm really excited for it. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe. I post Wednesdays, Saturdays, live streams in between, and make sure you drop a like on this video. If we get to 10,000 likes, I will tell 3 real embarrassing stories about myself. I need to think of them, but if we do it, it'll be my next video. It'll be super fun. All right, here we go.
Newlyweds in a sandbox.
Get it on!
Shortly before their wedding, Amy Maiden and Nick Wheeler decided to go through Nick's old family photos. While looking at his childhood pictures, they suddenly discovered an incredible coincidence. A photo of Nick on the beach with his sister and his cousin caught Amy's eyes. The picture was taken during the vacation of Nick's family in Cornwall. However, she noticed the picture not because of her fiancé or the funny sandy boat in which he was sitting, but because in the background she saw herself. There she
They're
is,
looking
playing on the
right
beach,
at the camera.
unaware of the fact that she's sitting next to her future husband. It turned out that in 1994, Nick's family came to Mousehole, the town where Amy grew up. If someone would have come up to Amy and Nick that day and said they were going to get married one day,
insane.
The kids would have thought that that person was crazy. But it did happen. The newlyweds met 11 years after the photo was taken, just a couple of steps away from that very beach.
That's weird.
Mr. Chance.
Mr. Chance!
Reporters often interview people on the streets, but what is the probability that you accidentally stumble upon a person who was part of the event that you're asking about? Before the Merseyside Derby game, BBC reporter Stuart Flinders was asking people on the streets of Liverpool if they remembered the 1967 derby, when Everton and Liverpool met in the 5th round of the FA Cup. Imagine the surprise of the journalists when one of the interviewees turned out to be the famous Liverpool goalkeeper Tommy Lawrence. And look how happy he was.
I'm just wondering whether you remember the derby match in 1967 at Goodison, FA Cup, 5th round, and it was shown on a big screen at Anfield at the same time.
That's right.
Do you remember it?
Yeah, I do. I played in it.
Did you?
I was goalkeeper for Liverpool.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's a stroke of luck, me meeting you. Yeah. Sorry, can you remind me of your name, please?
Tommy Lawrence.
Tommy, nice to meet you. What do you remember about it?
It was a great game, yes. Alan Ball scored the winner.
You did indeed.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Look how happy he looks! He's like, oh my god, you asked me about this thing that I'm the thing for!
Families adopted 2 twin brothers. Their parents died when the babies were only a few weeks old. Actually, twins are not supposed to be separated, but, well,
that's crazy.
What happened? The adopted
I gotta stop saying
that
to these crazy coincidences.
They gave the boys the same name, Jim. They became Jim Springer and Jim Lewis. The story could probably end there. There's lots of separated relatives in the world, right? But the 2 Jims turned out to be truly unique. The brothers grew up not knowing about the existence of each other. Both studied law, both married girls named Linda, then both got divorced, married again, and this time 2 ladies named Betty, and they both had sons. You think that's it? No way. Both Jims named their sons in a similar way, James Allen and James Allen, with 2 L's, and their pet dogs were named Toy. But the coincidences don't even end there. They had similar jobs in security, drank the same brand of beer, both were avid chain smokers and even preferred the same brand of cigarettes.
They gotta be
Both
fucking
brothers
with
had a
us,
woodworking
right?
workshop in the garage and owned a Chevrolet car of a pale blue color. Jim Lewis and Jim Springer first met on February the 9th, 1979.
To
After
never know
39
each other
long
through your
years of
whole life
separation,
and then
this
to meet
story
and be like,
became
we're the same
widely
fucking
known
person.
Thanks to Thomas J. Bouchard, a professor of psychology at the University of Minnesota. Thanks to the Jim twins, Professor Bouchard received a grant for the study of the influence of genes on medical and psychological parameters.
What the hell?
Prediction of Titanic's disaster. In the year 1898,
What does psychology have to...
14 years
Actually, what does
before the
psychology
wreck
have
of
to do with
the
that?
Titanic, science fiction writer Morgan Robertson wrote the novel Futility, which described the wreck of a ship called Titan. Oh wow,
Somebody
similar
predicted
names, but the coincidences don't end there. Both ships were considered to be unsinkable, had similar technical characteristics, and in both cases the crash revealed a shortage of boats, and both collided with an iceberg in the North Atlantic. Moreover, Titan also had its starboard side damaged, and both wrecks happened happened in the same month, in April. Robertson managed to almost predict even the number of boats. There were 20 of them on the Titanic, and the fictional Titan was equipped with 24. After the wreck
He
of the
manifested
Titanic, the book was
it.
republished under
He
the title
made the
Wreck of the
Titanic
Titan,
happen.
or Futility. Mark Twain's Comet. Halley's Comet
Titanic
is
only
considered
had
to be
20
one of the
boats?
most famous comets. It returns to the sun every 75 to 76 years and is visible to the naked eye. In ancient times, people expected disasters when it appeared, and today many continue to think that this cosmic
I think I know
body
about this
appears
one.
in the sky for a reason.
Mark
However,
Twain
today
was
there's only
born
one
on a comet and then
confirmation of
died at the
connection
same
of the
comet, I
with
think.
human destiny. Famous American writer Mark Twain wrote in his autobiography in 1909, "I came in with Halley's Comet in 1835. It's coming again next year, and I expect to go out with it. It will be the greatest disappointment of my life if I don't go out with Halley's Comet." So
It's a
it
nice
happened.
mustache.
He was born on November the 30th, 1835, 2 weeks after the comet passed the orbit closest to the sun, and died on April 21st, 1910, the day after the next visit of Halley's Comet.
So he just did?
Neighbors
How did he die?
2
Did he force
centuries
that
away.
shit?
Does it happen that great people just happen to be neighbors? Well, looks like it. Baroque composer George Frederick Handel once lived in London at 25 Brook
fuck?
Street. In 1759, Handel was gone, and in 1966, in the house next door, number 23, lived
Maybe.
famous musician Jimi Hendrix, along with his friend Kathy Etchingham. What a coincidence. After
Okay.
learning of the coincidence, Hendrix bought some of Handel's records. Today, these two houses in the heart of London are a joint Handel and Hendrix museum. After all, why not? They were both brilliant musicians
That's
who
kinda
greatly
cool.
influenced the development of music. Hoover Dam tragedy.
There was a tragedy at the
Dam
Hoover
is one of
Dam?
the largest and probably the most
Like being
famous
built,
dams in the
right?
United States. It was built
Like
on
a
the border
father
between
and a
the
son
states
both
of
died, I
Nevada and
think?
Arizona in the narrow Black Canyon formed by the Colorado River. This is one of the most popular attractions in the United States. The construction of the dam
It
started
is?
in 1931 and was completed in 1936, 2 years ahead of schedule. But such a large-scale construction couldn't do without victims, considering the technologies of that time. The construction of the dam was carried out under heavy conditions. Part of the work was carried out in tunnels where workers suffered from the excess of carbon monoxide. The employer claimed that all diseases are the consequences of normal pneumonia, and that he wasn't responsible for it. At the same time, the construction of the Hoover Dam became the first one when builders used hard hats, but it didn't help much. In total, 96 people died during construction. One of the first people killed in the construction of the dam was topographer George Tierney, drowned in the Colorado waters on December the 20th, 1922,
Interesting.
trying to choose the best place for construction. And the last person whose life was taken by the dam was Patrick Tierney, son of George Tierney. He also passed away on December the 20th. Reincarnation. According to scientific research, the chances of meeting your identical twin are not that
I mean-
small. Take at least the sensational
I
story of
remember
this
seeing that. There's like
Irishman
6
who met his
doppelgangers.
doppelganger
Everybody
on a
has at
plane.
least like
But
6,
what
I
about
think.
real reincarnation? And not just of anyone, but
6
of
or 7
Enzo
or 8 or 9,
Anselmo
I don't know.
Ferrari, the
I wanna
founder
meet
of the
somebody who
Ferrari
looks just like
company
me.
and the eponymous motor racing
Do I wanna
team.
meet somebody who
Enzo
looks
was
like
born in 1898 and died in 1988, having lived for 90 years and having become famous all over the world. The famous racing driver passed on August 14th, and on October 15th the same year, in the German city of Gelsenkirchen, in a family of Turkish immigrants, was born a boy named Mesut Özil. And you may have seen him, because Özil became a world-famous footballer after playing for Real Madrid and even winning the World Cup in 2014. Today he plays for Arsenal, and his similarity to Enzo Ferrari is growing stronger every year. You could assume that they're relatives, but unfortunately they are not. Well, the only explanation left is reincarnation. Also, now we can imagine how Özil will look in old age. Convenient.
Whoa.
Accident in Ohio. Today, the number of cars in the world has long exceeded
Whoa.
1 billion, and traffic accidents are not rare anymore. After all, there are a lot of causes, and no matter how dire the consequences, every road accident is part of the
Were they
statistics.
ever rare?
So for modern people, the news about 2 cars colliding in Ohio in 1895 doesn't seem particularly interesting. It happens every day, and not just in Ohio. But this story would not have been on our list today if not for one detail. The fact is that
Until
at
you
the end of the 19th
realize
century, century, the automotive industry was just beginning to
only
develop,
two cars
and in
in existence.
Ohio there were only 2 cars, and somehow they managed to not fit on the road. Unfortunately, the car crashes weren't documented back
Fucking
then,
Ohio.
so there's no official records of this case. Identical comics.
They didn't document
On
the
March
car
the 12th,
crashes?
1951, the comic Dennis the Menace, created by artist Hank Ketchum, was published in 16 American newspapers, and it must be said that over the years of its existence, the history of Dennis became incredibly popular. Today, the comic is
Charlie
published
Brown
in
next to Dennis
1,000
the Menace?
newspapers in 48 countries and translated into 19 languages. In 1953, the author received a Reuben Award for it, and films, television series, animated series, and video games about Dennis were created based on the stories. All in all, a real success. But there was an incredible coincidence. Also, on March the
You guys have
12th,
heard of Dennis the Menace,
1951,
right?
exactly on the same day in the UK, appeared a comic book called Dennis the Menace. And this is not a data leak
The
or
same
some very tricky
day?
plagiarism. The artist actually created 2 comics with the same names and similar plots, being on different sides of the Atlantic. In order to not confuse readers, they had to change the titles a bit. So the American comics became Dennis in the UK, and the British was named Dennis and Nasher outside of the United Kingdom.
That's so weird. How does that, how does that happen? How does that, I don't, you've had to have, talked about it to somebody, right? For it to, be a thing. There's no way. All right, we got a couple more. It's like a flash round. Cat with a picture of a cat on its body. Oh my god, I see it! Her hair color matches the bristles of the brush. Did you make the brush out of her hair? That's kind of cool. My sister has that. That's why I have these tattoos. One of a kind winter coat. I mean, the last girl has fur on her, so she's unique. Different family wear the same clothes. Fascinating. Trying to convince us that you don't work there and that's not your uniform. Wait a minute. Okay, this is less of a coincidence and just your bird looks like a fucking mango, I guess. What, you have to ask your parents if you have a twin brother? Oh, even the noses are the same. That's kind of funny. If he already had a hedgehog, it makes sense that he did that. Almost the same. Everybody's just looking at it. Oh. Oh, their shoes are different. They're different people. That's kind of cute. Look at. Oh. At least I thought there was gonna be Air Force Ones, but okay. I don't know. Is that a coincidence? Why do I don't hang out in Brooklyn? Oh. Ooh. It's interesting when fabrics pop up in the same spot. Colonel Sanders! You think he bought the place before or after the KFC moved in? Do you saw that? The one bubbling, I think, is the Mountain Dew, but I might be wrong. Huh. Ah. Ha. People gotta be fucking, you can't just, oh, that's weird. People can't just, you planned the outfit thing, right? And went out, beer, not fat? Somebody doesn't know how to pour without foam. Yeah, that one seems like a coincidence. Interesting. I would have also been confused for a moment if my tires turned into bushes. Yeah! Wait, I didn't even see the person there for a sec. Merry Christmas, I literally got the same shirt I was already wearing. That's not a coincidence. That's just your parents being weird. My parents did the same thing. corduroy in that. Yeah, no, my parents literally bought me a shirt that I already, like, owned. When Mario looks like Mario. You don't even have to wear the fucking helmet, my guy. Just be Mario. Oh. That feels plant! Oh, the two feel plant, and then, like, they're fucking with the older one. Makes the key blend in with the doorknob. A little bit. I can see it, but a little bit. Sometimes I notice like I'm surrounded by a lot of white cars or like a lot of like black cars or red cars, but never yellow. I've never just been like, whoa, there's a lot of yellow cars around, so that's kind of weird. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. Designer came here probably to get inspired. Whoa, the beer can looks the same! It does look like a drumstick with an umbrella, but also a helicopter, but like clouds can be anything. I don't know if that's perfect shoes for the occasion. It's Converse on a checkered floor, so yeah, cool picture. Not a crazy coincidence. Sounds exactly like my friend who works there. See, this one looks like I fucking messed up the camera. It's also not a coincidence just to have 3 white dogs. That's a weirder coincidence. I will give it that. Why do the leaves look blurry? Oh my god, your shoes look like the fucking carpet. Ew. Walked past 2 guys on a bridge and parents thought, wow, the guy really looks like Wes Anderson, and then I saw who was walking with him. I heard Bill Murray's like kind of an asshole, but I want to not believe it. Doppelganger in this paint local art exhibit. When I grew up, which is funny because the first I wanted to be an astronaut. Oh, that's so interesting. Interesting. Yeah. This is just weird. I don't know how to feel about it. It makes me believe a little bit more in the whole like simulation theory, but that's just me. What do you guys think? I'm really curious to know. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe. Drop a like. Like I said, we'll do embarrassing stories if we get to 10,000 likes. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.